The Relic of St. Olga. 1. Fire and Ashes, 946 A.D. The city of Iskrostan was nothing but cinders. The flames devoured homes, bodies, and the cries of the dying. Smoke choked the sky, and from the embers of vengeance rose Princess Olga of Kiev. Her eyes reflected more than fire. They held a stillness that terrified even her own warriors. She had avenged her husband's murder with a fury unmatched. But as the ashes settled and the last screams turned to silence, Olga did not celebrate. That night, as she stood amid the ruins of a slaughtered tribe, a different pain crept into her chest. Not guilt, something deeper, a knowing that something had been awakened. That night she did not sleep. She walked into the woods alone, barefoot and blood-spattered. The wind whispered her name in voices not of this world. And in the heart of the forest, as moonlight struck a ring of ancient stones, a shadow emerged. It did not speak. It did not move, but it watched her, and Olga knew the darkness that lived in men also had its gods, and she had just fed them. A vision and a vow. Weeks passed. Olga traveled to Constantinople under the pretense of diplomacy, but her soul burned for truth. There, in the city of gold and smoke, she was baptized. But even beneath holy water, she felt the echo of that presence from the forest. Then, one night in her chamber, she awoke with no breath in her lungs. A light filled the room, not fire, not moon, but something divine and terrible. A hand appeared in the air, cloaked in silver flame, and placed an object on her chest. A cross, wrought from silver not of this world, inscribed with runes too ancient for priests to read. A voice filled her head. This is not a gift. It is a burden. With it you may seal what hunts the souls of men, but should it fall into wicked hands, it will open the gates you shut. You are now the Warden. From that night forward, Olga was no longer merely a princess. She was the flame in the dark. 3. Cleansing the land. She rode from village to village, not as a queen, but as a shadow. Where idol worship still reigned, she brought the relic and cast it into the fires. Where demon cults gathered in caves, she walked alone with only the cross, and they never emerged again. Stories spread of possessed men shrieking before dropping dead at her feet, of wolves that fled at the scent of her, of spirits bound in earth where her relic touched stone. But Olga never smiled again. When her time came, she commanded the relic to be sealed beneath the earth, protected by blood oath and sacrifice. Only those who carried her name in their soul could ever touch it again. And time moved on. 4. Present day. The ruins of war. A Russian missile struck a 10th century church near Chernihiv. Among the debris, soldiers clearing rubble discovered stairs leading down hidden for centuries. At the bottom, an iron door with no hinges, no lock. It opened not with tools, but when the youngest soldier, a woman named Elena, placed her palm against the cold surface. Inside, the air stood still. A silver box, humble but humming. The runes etched into it glowed faintly, as if recognizing something after centuries of silence. The relic had awakened. News of the discovery spread. The government classified it. The relic was transferred to a secured military facility near Kyiv, but the whispers could not be contained. 5. Dreams of the dead. Katarina Melnick had been a combat medic since the start of the full-scale invasion. She had seen death up too close, but nothing prepared her for the dreams. Each night she saw a crowned woman standing on a field of skulls, holding a burning cross. Each time the woman said only, "It's not over. They come again." At first, Katarina blamed trauma, stress, but the dreams became clearer. Visions of caves, fire, ancient trees, and a name, Olga. And then the facility was attacked. 6. The saboteurs. They wore Ukrainian uniforms but moved like wolves. A small team of Russian occult agents trained not in war but in silence. Their mission: retrieve the relic. They broke through at 2:14 a.m. By 2:23, guards were dead, alarms silenced. Katarina was passing through by chance, returning from a transport mission. She felt the pull before she saw the intruders. In the chaos, her eyes found the silver box. Without thinking, she touched it, and the world stopped. 7. The past and the present collide. She stood in a hall of fire. Olga towered before her, neither flesh nor spirit. "Child of blood," she said, "you were born in the time of fire, as I was. You have seen the death of men as I have. But the enemy behind this war is older than empires." Katarina couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Olga placed the relic in her hands. "You are the Warden now." She woke with the cross clutched to her chest. The attackers lay dead, no wounds, only eyes wide in terror. 8. The hunt begins. From that moment, she was no longer safe. Not from the Russian agents hunting her. Not from the government who now called her a national security threat. And not from the thing that had reawakened with the relic. She was helped by a historian, Danilo Horvat, the only one who believed her. He showed her ancient maps, seals, and texts lost to modern scholarship. The same cults that rose in Olga's time, he said, have only changed flags. They want to open something buried, something not meant to return. 9. The path to the forgotten gate. The relic guided her, not through visions, but through pain her hand would burn when she turned away from the right direction. It led her to the Carpathians. Beneath an abandoned monastery, Quintains Terry, guarded by bones and forgotten hymns, she found it, a gate sealed by Olga's own blood. The Russians followed. A battle erupted underground. Echoes of gunfire mixed with inhuman screams. Some of the invaders were not men. Not anymore. Katarina bled. Danilo died buying her time. And at the final moment, she held the relic high, standing over the seal. Olga appeared again. "If you open it, you will not return. If you leave it, the world may not survive." "I understand," Katarina said, and she drove the relic into the seal. A blinding light filled the chamber. 10. Silence and smoke. When soldiers arrived days later, they found only scorched earth. No bodies, no relic. Just a faint scent of silver and ashes in the wind. 11. Epilogue. A new legend. The tide of war shifted. The enemy retreated. And among soldiers' whispers, a tale grew of a woman in medic's armor walking through fire, holding a silver cross, speaking words no one remembered but all felt. Some say she became light. Others say she walks still, and in secret places ancient watchers nod and whisper. The Warden has returned. No one has seen the relic since. But when the wind moves through the forests of the north, it sometimes carries the faintest sound, chains tightening, doors closing, and a woman's voice, ancient and strong, saying, "Not again, not ever again."